Hello everybody all around the world, it is Gareth here from WhatCulture Wrestling, bringing you a fantastic edition of Solo Saturday News because Phil Chambers does not like you very much on Christmas Eve and decided to go off and eat some mince pies and probably take Salty for a walk off around the lovely locale of Newcastle on this Christmassy morning while I'm here putting in the hard yards, putting in the graft to bring you all the good wrestling stuff and fun and news and updates. It's going really well already, I know, it's fantastic. But the first thing we need to talk about today, it was rather interesting, something that happened on Rampage, because there's been a lot of talk recently about all these new changes that might be coming into AEW heading into the new year, like a new look, a makeover, all these different things. Tony Khan himself talked about it a couple of days back, and I was getting pretty excited about it, but I was wondering, what is this going to look like? This whole new world of AEW, maybe Dynamite, Rampage, all these things. Well, we got that first look on Rampage because we had all, in like a 15-second clip, you had all these wrestlers pop up, like Jamie Hayters, John Moxley, loads of them. They're all there, strutting their stuff, flexing, looking really cool. And you had like a few little graphics pop up, like a new year, new Dynamite. And I thought, oh, that's pretty interesting. You had lasers, and the color scheme seemed very different as well. It was like red and blue, so that's a little bit of a change up from the typical like paint splat Dynamite, Rampage-y kind of stuff where it's all dead colourful and all the rest of it, like multicoloured. So it looks all a little new, a bit more vibrant. And this is all in the wake of, obviously, we've had AEW appointed a new senior vice president and co-executive producer, and that is Michael Manzarek, who was a WWE executive, obviously a former WWE executive, and he's quite exciting, he's well regarded. And we think that's going to massively contribute to Dynamite and Rampage's look, just in general now, being probably a bit smoother, a bit more kind of current, a bit fresher. I think that's been one of the, I wouldn't say a major criticism, because it's not really a major criticism, because AEW is pretty class across the board, but in terms of the actual look of Rampage, Dynamite, that retro feel, it's not, I don't know, it's needed something else, hasn't it, over the last like couple of months, in particular the last 6 months or so. It just needs that fresh lick of paint, and it looks like it's going to get that now, coming after January 4th onwards, I believe. And also, TK said himself, he said a couple of days ago, that this change-up, this makeover, is not just going to apply to Dynamite, it's going to be Rampage too, but we didn't really get the first look, as far as I'm concerned or aware of. We didn't get that first look of what Rampage is going to look like in the new year yet. But that will probably come sooner rather than later. Maybe even on Dynamite, because, you know, Rampage did the honors for Dynamite. Why not? Why not do it the other way? Just be nice, be courteous. So we're gonna change, we're gonna shift gears ever so slightly now. We're gonna move over to the land of World Wrestling Entertainment, and the biggest of shows, the biggest of things that will probably, I want to say probably happen in 2023, but yeah, trying to predict what's going to be the biggest things happening in wrestling is a fool's game, really, after 2022. But a big event is going to obviously be WrestleMania 39. We're going to have The Rock, hopefully. We're going to have John Cena, hopefully. But we've had some updates on both of those titanic stars that hopefully will be popping up at WrestleMania and their status at this show of shows event. So we're going to start off with The Rock first. And I think both of these updates, they did come in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. So they're pretty reputable. Like you think old Dave Meltzer's going to know his stuff, so hopefully this probably is fairly accurate. He said in this report that The Rock taking on Reigns is still being talked about, despite the match not being set in stone. And the report also states that there is no main event for WrestleMania officially locked in. But if Rock does make it to WrestleMania 39 and puts aside his busy Hollywood schedule. I think he just wrapped on like an 8-week stint on filming his new Red One film. Like, he's just constantly working, this dude. He will be taking on Reigns if he's not busy. So furthermore, the ball is seemingly in Rock's court, with his official decision being needed prior to the Royal Rumble, hopefully. So he needs to kind of let them know either way fairly soon, like probably in the next couple of weeks before this Royal Rumble gets about. And then, yeah, we'll see what happens there. Because if he does return, you've got to feel he's probably going to pop up in the Rumble at some point and do a bit of damage, maybe, and just like driving over the top rope and win the whole thing, or at least be in a pretty big angle in the match itself. So he's going to have to let him know fairly soon. And I don't know, I want The Rock there. Of course, everyone wants The Rock there because he's just a huge star. He's electrifying. Having him against Roman's the biggest match I think they could do on paper, isn't it, right now? Let's be honest. I mean, it's more like, probably more compelling and satisfying for long-term stories. You got the Sami Zayn thing there, which would be epic, or maybe the Cody thing and win the big one at WrestleMania. They'd be great. But I think for just blockbuster appeal, come on, it's there, isn't it? So hopefully, fingers crossed, they can get that one done. But moving over to John Cena, obviously John Cena is going to appear on the last SmackDown of this year, which is insane. That's going to be next week. He's having that big tag team match. He's going to be teaming up with Kevin Owens to take on Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn himself, the honorary Uce. But we've had, again, a bit more of an update about what's going to be his plans coming into WrestleMania 39. So this is obviously a couple of months before that's going to go down. And again, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it's believed that the 16-time world champion will showcase his in-ring magic, and he'll be there. He'll be at WrestleMania. That's the belief at this point. And the big thing, I'd say the big thing that they're concerned about with John Cena right now, again, is his schedule, because it said in this report that he's not going to be available for in-ring appearances throughout most of February and March, which is a big chunk of the road to WrestleMania. So that's a little bit, not concerning, but you got to think, well, they're going to have to do something quite creative if they are going to use him at WrestleMania. They're going to have to not have that big 2-month period with John there. Maybe he does like promos, like via satellite promos, things like that. That'd be one option, but it's quite nice having John in the ring, isn't it? Or like at least doing stuff in the actual arena. So I don't know, that could be quite difficult to get around, but they'll probably find a way. He's obviously going to be filming a movie outside of the States at that point, so it's not going to be a case of just jumping on a flight in the States. He's going to be somewhere else around the world. So that would rule him out of things like Elimination Chamber, as in February. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do there. But WWE is reportedly under the impression that Cena is working on his schedule to make sure that he's ready. He's there for WrestleMania, so they really are trying everything they can to get John at this massive event, and it's not quite known exactly who he's going to be facing. I mean, there's obviously been a lot of talk at one point about Austin Theory being the person. Obviously, he did those kind of backstage promos. He had a bit of an online feud thing, but that was all going down whilst Vince McMahon was head of creative. Now Triple H is head of creative. He might push him down a different route. Anything, it's all up in the air. Let's be honest. It's probably all going to be up in the air until around the Royal Rumble, and maybe even after that. So we'll see what happens, but I want to say that you can't rule either person out right now, which is quite nice. That's a good position to be in, I think, coming into the new year, that you can't rule out John Cena or The Rock being at WrestleMania. I will take that going into my 2023. And something else I'll take is the fact that Jamie Hayter's AEW Women's World Championship reign is being pretty well received backstage. And this is really good because obviously she's epic. She's just been an absolute ass kicker since winning that belt and before winning that belt. And this new report from Fightful Select says that, well, backstage, he's pretty much heard that she's had unanimous positive reception backstage throughout her run in general. They think that she's been class, and in particular, we know what we're going to talk about, that main event that happened this week against Hikaru Shida, which was, it was frightening, wasn't it? It was epic. It was just slobber knocker, whatever word, whatever superlative you want to throw at it, it was it. And everyone seems to respect what they did and just think that Hayter is the real deal, which is fantastic. And on top of this, Britt Baker and Rebel, they're both being saluted for the way that they've transitioned into roles as pretty much Hayter's backup. I mean, there's obviously a bit of tension there with Baker. She still kind of wants the spotlight, but the way that they've kind of elevated Hayter and put her on a bit of a pedestal is great for everyone, because it builds this next top star. It makes that eventual feud between Baker and Hayter that much more can't miss, must see, whatever word you want to use. So yeah, everyone's been saluted for the work that they put in there. And another figure that's also been praised, a lot of praise going on right now in AEW, and I like it. I like some positive feedback and reinforcement. And what we've got here is producer, Ring of Honor veteran BJ Whitmer was the producer. He was behind the Hikaru Shida Jamie Hayter main event match that we said there on Dynamite, and he was also behind the Full Gear title showdown where Hayter won the belt against Toni Storm. He's been, again, just praised, saluted, all the words at, well, backstage really from all these AEW talents. They said he's been fantastic. So that's lovely to hear, really. A lot of nice stuff going around and a lot of well-earned, I'd say, praise and adulation being thrown around there, tributes, because I think Hayter's been fantastic. Those matches have been some of the best matches. I'm not just going to say women's matches. They've been some of the best matches that I've seen on AEW programming probably this year. So I'd be very quick just to salute and praise everyone involved. I think they've been fantastic, and long may it continue going into 2023. And another thing that kind of happened just in the midst of all this news and stuff that's more backstage kind of updates than anything else was SmackDown. It was, I'm not going to lie, it was kind of a bit of a throwaway SmackDown for the most part. Apart from this, I think this was the only serious kind of massive ramification, whatever you want to call it, that's going to affect next week. We had Raquel Rodriguez, I can't even say her name. Raquel Rodriguez, there you go, that's me doing Spanish R's because I am great at Spanish stuff. I'm going to move on. Yeah, so she won this gauntlet match because Triple H, whenever he needs to decide a new number one contender, he says, I'll just dump everybody in a big gauntlet and see what happens, because it's just inspired, isn't it? And that's what he did again. Here we had the likes of Xia Li, Tegan Nox, Liv Morgan, Sonya Deville, and what was Raquel Rodriguez in the original field. I'll explain more later, but this was all going like, as you would expect, really. You had a few little storylines progressing with Xia Li and Emma, and Tegan Nox was involved, and then Raquel Rodriguez came out and just cleaned house. She battered everyone. She beat Lee, she beat Morgan, she beat Deville. She was just an absolute machine, and, well, everyone thought pretty much that she was going to be the favourite going into this match anyway. And it looked like she'd won it. It looked like she'd won the whole thing. And then Ronda Rousey came out just being an absolute a-hole and said, I've got one more person for you. And then Shayna Baszler came out and suddenly had to fight Shayna Baszler. That was a surprise entrant, just like as a swerve. But she won. She beat her. So, is what it is. She was just currently, and now is, the number one contender for the SmackDown Women's Championships. That's a big old thing that's going to happen next week, which is, frankly, it's looking stacked, isn't it, that SmackDown? You got the John Cena thing with a tag match, and then you got this title match, and then I think we've got Sheamus against Solo Sikoa. That's just, I mean, my head hurts thinking about that. I feel like I've just been booted in the face just thinking about it. It's going to be physical. Everyone's going to turn red. I'm into this. I love this kind of stuff. So, very excited for the last SmackDown of the year. Raquel Rodriguez, Ronda Rousey, big title match. It's going to be there. So, right, that's been the news part of this whole thing. I know, I don't know how I've managed to do that. I got through an entire news video without swearing or punching my cameras. That's pretty good. So I think it's a little treat for all of us. Let's do some Twitter questions. Let's talk about some stuff. I'm sorry there's not loads of graphics and things popping up right now because all the editors are off for Christmas, which is absolutely fine. Everyone go off and live the best lives. I hope they're all having lovely lie-ins and relaxing whilst I'm here sweating and panicking and, just doing it all for your entertainment, really, which is all good stuff. So, first Twitter question that we're going to talk about right now is from Pessimistic Potato, which is a lovely name. I mean, it's a name after my own heart, and I love the old potatoes. And they put, if he was wrestling, what would Santa's finisher be? Merry Christmas, and let's hope it's not a small package. I don't think it'd be a small package, because that'll probably get added to another counter that Simon Miller's doing for one of his new ups and down videos going forward. So, for me, I think you got to go with a pun. I'm a punny guy. I like my simple comedy. I love a pun. So I go for the Merry Fistmas, and it'd be a Superman punch. And you could just imagine his big Santa hat flicking back, and you're like, Superman punch to the face. I realise I've now just said that Father Christmas likes fisting, so let's just move on from that because I'm going to get this video taken down very quickly. Next question is from Howie Potter, and that's at Howie Gen X74. Yeah. Hi, Howie. How we doing? Yeah, very good. So I got here, if you could pick one male and one female wrestler from either AEW or WWE, who do you think has had the best 2022? For me, MJF and Jamie Hayter and Bianca Belair and Sami Zayn. All brilliant choices. Can't really argue with any of those. I can see the points for all of them. I'm going to agree with MJF and Bianca Belair because I can't really think of many other better arguments for either one of those categories because they've been epic. They've had a great 2022, career best 2022s. I think you could probably say that, really, for the most part. On the AEW side with women, I'm going to go Toni Storm because I think she had a massively underrated run with that title earlier on this year. I thought she was fantastic. All of her matches were great. I think she had a real just coming to prominence moment on AEW. I think she wasn't floundering, but she just hadn't really found herself in that division at that point. And then she had that belt and just showed a new level, you know what I mean? New level of like violence and just a star power. She felt like the real deal for me, so I was very impressed by Toni Storm. And then on the men's side of WWE, pretty tough, but I'd say in terms of just things clicking and then his actual in-ring showings, Seth Rollins. I mean, like the audience connection, or the singing, the whoa, and just being this eccentric character that can just drop into the heel and face divide. I feel like he's just figured it out. He's just figured out who he is, how he fits into the WWE landscape, and all the rest of that. And it's now meshing with his in-ring work, which has always been stellar. So Seth Rollins, I think it's worth the Cody series alone was outstanding. So I think Seth Rollins is my guy for WWE 2022. But yeah, let us know about like who you think had the best 2022 as a year. Yeah, he's been really good. Words will come out. I promise they'll come out at some point. So my last question that we're going to talk about here is from Kyle at Laney1987, and we got the question of if you could have a Christmas dinner table with 5 wrestlers, who would you have and why? Well, For me, I like chaos, I like carnage, and I like drama at my Christmas. So I go for the Elite, CM Punk and Colt Cabana, for obvious reasons, because I just sit there and eat my turkey. I'd be like Big E with the popcorn, but turkey. You know what I mean? I'd just be watching it, chaos, fighting. Oh, it'd be great. It'd be great stuff. So that's what I do for my Christmas dinner table. Let me know who you would have on your Christmas dinner table and what you think of this video, what you think of all the news stories today. I love to hear all your opinions and everything you want to say, or just hurl abuse in the comment section right down below, because it's your Christmas too, and I'm here to be punched at. Why not? So follow myself on Twitter at gmorgan04. Follow everyone here at WhatCulture at WhatCulture WWE. Don't forget to like this video, share this video, subscribe to all things WhatCulture. There was probably a big spiel I missed at the start of the are you ready for the Saturday news video thing, because Phil's not here and I'm an idiot. So remember that, what he normally says as well, and have a great Christmas. I'm just going to sign off with that one, because it's been an interesting year, hasn't it? Like in the world of wrestling and just the world in general. So you deserve the best Christmas possible. I hope you eat loads of great grub and food and drink beer, or if you don't like beer, just loads of soda and whatever it is. Just let yourself go, do whatever you want to do, and watch some wrestling if you feel like it. Why not? There's plenty of it out there. I have been Gareth from WhatCulture WWE, wrestling, whatever it is. And hopefully I'll see you very, very soon on my own, shaking my arms around and not having a clue what is going on. Bye-bye.